Welcome to the Expert Speaker Podcast. We have women's relationship coach, Jenn Noble, here today. Welcome, Jenn.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Majeed. I'm so excited to be here.
And we get to learn secrets of dating from a dating coach, secrets of relationship from a relationship coach, and this thing called attachment styles. I only heard about it a few years. I read this book called Attached twice. I took the test. My results came back as you got problems. I can't remember what kind of problems, but I got
Yeah,
problems.
that sounds about right.
So what is even attachments?
I love that you are asking this, and I love that you brought up the book Attached because I have to go hot right off the bat. I cannot stand that book. That book was one of the very first books that I ever read to learn about attachment styles. Is it a beautiful gateway drug? Yes. Is it completely filled with tons of misinformation? Also, yes. And that's what I love talking to women about. So let me explain what attachment styles really are, or as I call them, attachment stances, because they're not something that we just try on. It's not last year's skinny jeans, It is something that has developed in our bodies based on years and years and decades of relationship situations that we grew up with. So I love talking about attachment styles as dances. And I know that there are four main attachment styles. So there is the secure attachment style, and then there are three non-secure, or as you said, one of the messed up ones, attachment styles. And that's what predominantly most of us are over here because it has been hard growing up in this society lately. And so as a result, our primary caregivers have developed inside of us attachment stances. So that's where I love to start.
Okay, so there's these securely attached people that seem to have no problems. Their life is great in the relationships. And then there's three others.
Yes.
Um, I remember one's called Avoidant and one's called Anxious. Is that two out of the three?
That's right. Yeah, you're
And
doing
then what's
great.
the
Keep
third one?
going. Disorganized. Or as some people might hear it called fearful avoidant, they just have two different names.
Disorganized and fearful avoidant are the same.
Yes.
And am I oversimplifying it to say that the point is to try to figure out how to become secure?
No, actually, that's a really beautiful way to simplify it because a lot of times we have been taught that our attachment style, and I'll still use that word just because it's what people use, is stuck. It's like a personality trait. It's like your Myers-Briggs or your Enneagram. It's never going to change. And that's just completely false because it's just a maladapted coping strategy that we picked up in childhood that we absolutely can change. And that's what I do with my work with women.
Coping what? All right, I'm a little kid and like what? My mom left the room and I'm like, "Oh my God, where's my mom? I need to cope." Like, what are we coping with?
Yeah, so this starts all the way back even within utero. If your mother was highly anxious or she had a lot of stress or a lot of anxiety going on inside of her, you already, as a child in your nervous system, you're picking that up. And then we go through the trauma of birth. And then between the ages of newborn, so like 0 days old to 18 months, our bodies are growing and adapting consistently. We're picking up on every little thing that our parents or primary caregivers are doing for us. So in those moments, if we cry out, and we have a primary caregiver come to us and meet our needs, our nervous system has just been taught we are safe to co regulate. We are safe to be in a relationship with someone else. I cry, I get what I need. And then slowly but surely, this develops into secure attachment. You need something, your mother is there. You need something, she's not there, but she explains why. This is all part of developing our attachment style. On the opposite end, let's say we have somebody with a disorganized attachment, or as I call it, the solo tango, because this is somebody who's dancing alone. This is somebody that constantly keeps people at arm's reach. Well, why is that happening, Majeed? It's happening because in childhood, you yelled out for your parent, for your mother, and she said, "You're too much, go away from me." She said, "Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about."
Whoa,
She
whoa, whoa.
said, "Leave me alone. I have other things to do." Okay. This is the hard shit that we have to be talking about here that happens. And so,
Uh-huh.
as a result, what do you think that taught that child? My emotions, my feelings, they don't matter. They're too much. And if I ask for something, I will either be neglected more or I'll be hurt even worse. And so over time, slowly but surely, this develops an avoidant attachment style. So when someone grows up and now they need something in a relationship and they start feeling this way, they don't know how to ask for that. And so they keep their partner at arm's reach.
Okay, so these things that are forming early are playing out in adult relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and you're working with women. Sometimes they're dating, sometimes they're married.
Yes, I work with women who are seeking relationships, whether it be one they're already in, where they want to feel seen, safe, and secure, or maybe they just broke up and they're getting back out there in the dating world. And so, either which way, so long as you're looking for a secure relationship, that's who I work with.
Okay, so please oversimplify it and just give me the secret. What is it?
The secret to what?
A happy, successful relationship.
The secret to that is become secure. How you become secure, much harder.
Okay, describe secure.
Okay, so a secure attachment is somebody, I call this the smooth waltz. So if you picture somebody that's dancing a waltz, right? It's very beautiful, it's very graceful. They're moving in fluid moment back and forth. But the beautiful thing about a dance relationship is there's mistakes in dance. I don't know if you've ever watched a dance competition. I kind of have a personal heart for Dancing with the Stars, and I love watching them dance all the time. And there's mistakes that happen, but it's what you do with the mistakes that makes you a great dancer. And so, in a partnership, the person in the relationship that is leading you, will twirl you around, will spin you around, will dip you. And if you trip a little bit, they still got you. That's the smooth waltz. That's secure attachment where they don't have it all together. It's just that when it's not together, they still feel safe in their body to continue forward.
Okay, so being secure is feeling safe in your body to continue forward while you're waltzing.
Yes.
Perfect. And if someone comes to you and says, Jen, I am opposite of secure. And I know that the secret to a great relationship is to become secure because I watched your podcast with Majeed. And what do I do? And you
I,
say, I got a program for you. I got a process for you. What's the process?
Yeah. So first, I would say to them, I feel you. I was you. I lived with a disorganized attachment for my entire life. That's what brought me to attachment styles. Heartbroken, crying over my ex, drowning myself in alcohol. This is where I got to where I am today. This is why I'm doing the my own podcast. I'm becoming a relationship coach. I'm writing a book, which I know we'll talk about later. But first and foremost, I'm going to meet her where she is. And then I'm going to say to her, listen, you don't have to do this alone. This is what we've been taught as women. We've been taught that we have to figure this shit out on our own because we should be strong enough. We should know what we're doing. We have the emotional intelligence. It's the stinky boys. No offense, Majeed, but it's the stinky boys. They don't know emotions. We know emotions, but that's just not true. We also need help. We need community. Women are communal. And so I would say to them, listen, I have a 12-step program that I take women through that takes you from becoming non-secure, how you were brought up in childhood, to teach you that it's not your fault, that you are not broken, and that through this really cool scientific thing called neuroplasticity, which is kind of what I geek out about, I help you rewire your brain in a way where it's not about secure attachment. Because you know what? Who cares about secure attachment? It's about finally getting you the relationship you deserve.
Okay. Jen, if I showed up at your door with a briefcase full of cash, at least 100,000 US dollars in small unmarked bills with non-sequential serial numbers,
Where are we going with this, Majeed?
and I said, Jen, this is $100,000. Make me secure as quickly as possible. I'm busy. I don't want to do a 12-month eat, pray, love journey. I don't really want to do a 12-week homework every week. Can you just bippity boppity? What would you do with $100,000 to just fix me quickly? Or in other
It,
words, what's the fastest way we can get from not secure to secure?
yeah, it would hurt my heart, but unfortunately, I'd have to turn you away because I'm incredibly picky with my clients, and I do not do things fast
Well,
because it's
you work with women, so I presume I'm disqualified. But Do you
I
work
mean,
with
I
men?
do.
You ever
In
work with men?
fairness, I do. I have male clients. I just,
Okay.
in my program, because it's my mission and my passion, I work mainly with women. But I do have those male clients that come and kind of out in the word works and say, Jen, I need your help. And I was like, I got you, boy. Don't worry. I got
Okay.
you. But listen, this is important. I
Yeah.
really need to explain this because we live in a world where we want everything now, don't we?
Hmm.
We want
Hmm.
it quick. And we want it now. We know, even as business owners, right? We want it quick and we want it now. But
Hmm.
the truth of the matter is the brain is slow. The brain takes time. I explain it like this. Are you familiar with cornfields? Now, I grew up in
Um,
Ohio, so I'm very familiar with
I grew up
cornfields.
in Illinois. I'm also familiar with
Hey, very
cornfields.
nice. Midwest. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So, in a cornfield, the way you make pathways in cornfields is you have to press down the stalks as you go along. My uncle had a cornfield, and we were always told you have to stay on the path because that's the pathway that he made, and it stays down, and you've pushed the stalk down. You've gone down. You've gone down. So, let's say you want to go to the store, and there is a pathway to the store. But this store, it has outdated stuff in it. It's got Twinkies, it's got Yoo-Hoos, it's got Sunny D, it's got Ho-Hos, all those great 90s classics that we all loved eating growing up. But
Uh-huh.
we're trying to be healthier now. I mean, I don't know about you, but after I hit 40, it's like I just can't eat a Twinkie like I used to. It gives me
Okay.
heartburn. It really sucks now. So
Uh-huh.
we got to go to Whole Foods. We got to
Oh,
go find the Whole Foods. We need the organic. We need the grass-fed. We need all of those less pesticide vegetables. But it's
uh-huh.
all the way over here, and we don't have the path to that. This is
Uh-huh.
the cornfields. What I'm doing with you is I'm creating new neural pathways in your brain to the new, healthier store, to the healthier coping mechanism where we stay in the relationship, where we don't blow up. We don't text him 15 times because we're scared. We don't shut down because he didn't give us a kiss when he got home from work. These are the new pathways that we're creating in our minds. But if you've ever tried to push down a cornfield, it does not want to stay down. You push it down, it pops
Ah,
back
okay.
up. You push
Yes.
it down and it pops back up. So I do a
Yeah.
process in my program called somatic repetition. And
Okay.
somatic repetition is basically a three-part series where we take autosuggestion, we take somatic processing, and we take alpha theta brainwave states. We put these three things together and we spend days upon days going over this over and over and over again every night, just like repetitions at the gym.
Okay.
Just like that. And it's going to take time and it's going to take at least 3 months. And I am honest with people about that.
3 months.
It's
Okay.
going to take at least 3 months.
I can do
And
three
then you
months.
start to feel a change and it's life changing.
Okay. I can do 3 months.
I got
Uh,
it. Let's go. I'll take the 100 grand.
you can keep the briefcase full of cash. So now I know how to become secure through repetitive alpha, theta
Yeah, that works.
brain waves. And now I also know how to make new paths in the cornfield thanks to Grandpa Noble.
Yes.
I love a good metaphor, and I will not forget that one. So I see you are a passionate storyteller. You are playful in your delivery, and I can only imagine how your TEDx talk went. Congratulations on your TEDx talk.
Thank you.
Um, since our audience is professional speakers and business owners who want to speak, I'd love to hear what that was like. What
Mhm.
was it like applying? What was it like preparing? What was it like delivering? And what was it about?
Thank you. I would love to talk about this. I know yourself, you've also done a TEDx talk that I have checked out, and it is fabulous. And the thing for me is, a TEDx talk has always been something that's been on my bucket list. It's always something I used to talk in my brain. I talk as TED Talks, and I start stories in my brain and situations that happen in my life. I knew this was going to happen. But I thought this was a far off goal. Because when I started getting my life back together after that breakup and after just kind of losing who I was, I started going back to school. I say go back to school. I dropped out of college when I was in my early 20s. And somewhere in 2021, I got this crazy idea that I'm going to go back to school and become a psychologist. And so I started going to college. And while I was in college, I started connecting with people. And for me, and this is important, it fell into my lap. And this is
Mhm.
what I think is actually incredibly important about life is that, yes, there are some things that we go out and we search for and we desire and we work our asses off to get there. And then there's some things that we are just in the right place at the right time, and we need to capitalize on that when we can. So, in that
Mhm.
moment, my college decided to do their first ever TEDx talk. And now I was in Toastmasters at the time, and this is why I highly recommend just getting out there and talking to people. Because here I am, just this college student in this Toastmasters group trying to get extra credit because my teacher said if I showed up, I'd get extra credit. And I really needed the extra credit because I wasn't doing very well in my argumentation and debate class. And so I'm there, and he said, wow, like you can speak. And I was like, thank you. I'm myself. Like, I'm starting to learn. I'm becoming more secure in myself. This is who I am now. I'm just speaking up. And he said, we need you. We need you to do a TEDx talk. And I was like, oh my God, wait, now? Like, I'm ready? Do you think? And he said, absolutely. And so I applied and I got in, and I knew in that moment that I wanted to do it about attachment styles because I had already gotten my certification. I'd already just slightly started coaching, and I knew that this is my passion and this is my research. And so now this is pretty much my whole jam. I'm an attachment researcher, I'm an attachment expert, and I'm continuing on in my college degree to research attachment and how it affects our romantic relationships.
Wow. Do you remember how many minutes it was?
Mine specifically was like 17:30. I hit the cusp because so TEDx talks, you can only be 18 minutes. The very classic TED thing. They only want you to have 18 minutes. And so I remember I had so much to say that there's this beautiful Mark Twain quote that I love that he says, if I could speak for hours, I have need no time to prep my speech. If I can speak for only 30 minutes, I'm going to need 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
The less we have to say, right? The more we have to condense it, the harder it
Yeah.
becomes.
Yeah.
And so mine was 17, like 30. And I remember I kept having to pare it down. And listen, I talk hella fast. So me going at 17 minutes is me putting in a lot of information.
That's amazing. So the TEDx talk on attachment, you're the attachment researcher, the attachment relationship coach. You've lived the experience yourself in somewhat of an extreme. That disorganized one sounds like the most wild.
Yeah, this is what I call the pendulum swing dance. And I call it this because, so if anyone's out there and they're listening along and they're like, oh, I know attachment styles. I'm kind of sometimes anxious. I'm kind of sometimes avoidant. He gets really close and I push him away. He goes away and I want him back. This is disorganized attachment. This is that
Mm,
push-pull dynamic in a relationship. This is why I call it the pendulum swing dance, because you're literally swinging from one attachment stance to the other, back and
mm,
forth, sometimes within the same freaking conversation. It's exhausting and it's a terrible thing to have to live through. And also, it is a lived experience for so many. And that's why that book, Attached, not my favorite, because it often talks about disorganized attachment as, oh, it's just this really terrible thing. And if you have it, you're screwed. Like, don't even worry about that. We're not even going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about anxiously attached people and how, hey, go ahead and just go find yourself a secure partner. That'll heal everything. It doesn't heal anything. And also, you're not attracted to a secure man, but that's a different conversation.
ah,
Disorganized attachment it's hell. And anyone that's
okay.
been on
Well,
the receiving end,
we're
yeah.
not just gonna breeze past that one. You said so an anxious person is being advised by this book to just find a secure person, but
Yeah.
probably they're not attracted to a secure person. Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah, so if you've ever found yourself saying, I'm just not really physically attracted to him or to her, it's just more common for women to be anxiously attached. We don't know why, but that's just what the stats show. So let's say I'm just not really that attracted to him. I've swiped right on a couple guys. I've tried going out on dates, but I don't really feel that pull towards him. I don't really feel that spark. Well, honey, that's because you are attracted to chaotic avoidant men. You think you're not attracted to this
Oh yeah.
person, but it's your attachment pattern acting up. And once we work on your attachment pattern, you're going to see how many beautiful, amazing, attractive, secure men are waiting for you out there if you could just kind of switch that little neuron in your brain to start seeing them.
Mm. All right. We promised dating and romance secrets revealed, and we delivered, and we're not even done yet. You have a book coming out.
Yes, I do.
What's
I'm
your
so
book
excited.
about?
So my book is going to be titled Dance of Attachment, and it's going to be about how attachment styles influence our romantic relationships.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And you have a relationship reboot program. What's that about?
I do. So one of my favorite things that I do as a coach is I've worked one-on-one with dozens of women, but two things was always kind of holding us back. One, there was this missing of community, right? We would work together one on one once a week and everything would be going great, but they wouldn't have a chance to really practice these skills in a safe container. Because you practice all these skills, but you go back to your partner who's pissing you off, and obviously you have an attachment pattern too, and so you're back right where you started. So I was like, that was the first thing I noticed. Second, honestly, just a barrier to entry, because working one on one with a coach, it's just hella expensive. And I get it, but it's not for everyone. And so one of the things I really wanted to create in my coaching program was a more affordable place for women to come and get healing. So I started a membership program, and that's where they get full access to the full 12 modules that takes you from non-secure to secure. And we have community. We have 3 hours of group coaching every week. We have opportunities for one-on-one coaching with me. We have a Facebook group. We have community. The women, they just get together on their own nowadays because they just really just have connected so much. They go through life together. It's like a little life group. And this is the relationship reboot program. This is the place where women are literally shifting their attachment styles and creating the relationships that they desire.
That's amazing. 3 hours of group coaching a week. That's cool. That's full on. The relationship reboot program, the affordable offer from Jennifer Noble, attachment expert. The secret to a successful relationship is, according to Jen, excuse me, become secure.
Become secure. Just
Become
keep working
secure.
towards it.
Mm.
And it's a lifelong journey. Can I just speak on that? It's not a
Yeah.
destination. Healing is never a destination. It's a journey. Even myself, I'm constantly learning new things about myself. I still blow up at my husband. I still blow up at my son. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I still get anxious. I still worried. What am I gonna wear on this podcast with Majeed? Is he gonna like me? Is people gonna like me? But the difference now is I don't let that prevent me from living my best life anymore. I work through it. I do my somatic repetition. I process in my body somatically. I feel it. I don't just try to work it out in my head. I don't just try to figure it out. I now feel it out. And this is secure attachment.
Hmm. Okay. Um, when you said I want Majid to like me, and I was thinking about I really like it when people like me, and I really don't like it when people don't like me. And it's very distracting for me to be concerned with other people liking me or not liking me. And what's the best solution to that?
This comes down to what we call attachment wounds. So these are those little beliefs inside of our headspace that keep us stuck. So this is one of the things that we go through in the relationship reboot program is we identify and we heal our attachment wounds. So whatever it is, here's a fun bomb drop for you, okay? Let me see if I can explain this where it makes sense in this short amount of time. Whatever it is that we think someone is thinking about us is what we actually think about ourselves. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So for example, if I'm talking here to you right now, you see me. I'm very energetic. I'm very talkative. I'm very playful. This is like part of who I've been my entire life. For so long, I've been called too much. I've been told like settle down, Jenny. Like chill. Like seriously, do you need this much energy? It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like really, And for so long I was shamed. So what do you think that taught me? Growing up, I have an attachment wound that says, I'm too much. I'm annoying. I'm difficult. Do you hear those? And so now, if I go out into public situations, or I hang out with you, or I hang out with anyone, or I'm writing my book, or I'm doing whatever, those beliefs hold me back because I think, oh, all these people are thinking of this about me. That's not true. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. And even if you do think that about me, like whatever. Is it who I want to be now? That's the most important part. Do I think I'm too much? Well, if I think I'm too much, then maybe I can work on that. No, I don't think I'm too much. Okay, then great. And it's simple in practice, difficult in execution. But these are the wounds that we rewire in our brain so we start seeing ourselves as the beautiful, whole, messy human that we actually are. So yeah, am I energetic? Of course, but I'll find my people. And do I talk really fast? Sure. But like, I listen to things at two speed. I download information into my brain. And so do other people. So I'm going to find my people. They're going to find their people. You're going to find your people. And that's what's most important is that we find that community, that communal space that holds us and we can truly feel seen.
Mm. Amen.
Hmm.
Okay, so for people who are just ready to start right now, I understand you have a workbook.
Yeah, so I do. Leading up to writing this book, I created a workbook called the Dance of Attachment Workbook. It goes through all four attachment stances, the from secure, the smooth waltz, to the three non-secure ones, which again are anxious, which we didn't get into much, but it's the salsa of uncertainty. It's just basically this belief that I have to be perfect in order to be loved. I have to earn my worth. This is the anxious attachment. And then we also have avoidant, which we talked about, the solo tango. And then we also have Disorganized, which is the pendulum swing dance. You're going to learn about all four of those in this workbook, in addition to the neuroplasticity work that I do that gets you over the hump into secure attachment. So all of that is there. Journal prompts galore, because I love me a good journal prompt. I'm constantly making people think, like, okay, what do you think about this? What does this mean about you? And through all of that, they can get that through, I believe I sent you a link that they'll have. And that is the perfect place to get started. And from there, all of the rest of the information is there to get to know me. So if they read that workbook and they think, yes, this speaks to me, she speaks to me, I see myself in her, then reach out to me. There's a place in the workbook where you can schedule an attachment assessment with me. We just jump on a call, we chit chat, and I get to know you. And that's my favorite part about this work is getting to know just hundreds of women and hear their stories because we truly heal when we start to speak up. It's just the power of speaking up.
Say the URL out loud. Do you know it?
You know what? To be honest, I don't because I don't have a memory.
But
That's
if
one of my
people,
flaws.
but someone could find it on your website,
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. So speak-honest.com. Just head there.
speak-honest.com. Yeah, I
Hmm.
Googled it while you were talking, the Dance of Attachment workbook with Jennifer Noble, and it sends me to speak-honest.com.
Perfect.
So just for people to know whether or not they have an attachment issue, like how do you know you have an attachment issue?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, you have an attachment issue if you constantly find yourself struggling in your relationships to the point where you can't seem to hold on to a relationship. Are you having the same fight every single time with no resolution? Do you seem to be dating the same man? It's just like walking, waking up on Groundhog's Day and you're like, I've dated this man before. What the hell? Like it's the same fight with a different man three times in a row. Are
Okay.
you swiping right on the same type of guy? Are you constantly getting ghosted? These are attachment patterns. These are the people that you're attracted to. So if you find yourself just dissatisfied in your relationships and you're thinking, there's got to be more, well, then there's a high chance that you have a non secure attachment style. And depending on where you are on the spectrum, maybe it just takes, a couple months doing some reprogramming, you're good to go. Maybe like physical therapy, you need to do it for a couple more months. Me, 5 years on, I still do somatic repetition every day. It is
Oh,
just every day I do it. It's like yoga, it's like meditation, it's like going to the gym. It is a constant in my life now, and it changes my life.
Jen, what does that look like? Is that you in the mirror saying, "You're beautiful, I love you"? Or is it like headphones in and it's like, "I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of love"?
I love
Or,
this so much because affirmations are something, affirmations are great, but affirmations don't work if your body's not online with it. So this is where
uh-huh,
somatic work comes in. And for anyone
uh-huh.
that's not familiar with somatic work, it's just about our feeling in our body. Look at Peter Levine, amazing work what this man does, and he's learned how the physiological portion of our body. So what it kind of looks more like is in a meditative state. So we get into our alpha theta brainwave state. This is when our brains are at its most susceptible, right? Where we're able to be in the hypno stage, as some people would do.
Okay.
And it's where you find evidence for yourself of where you are worthy, where you are enough. And you do it in all 8 areas of life. And the hard part about this is you have to find evidence in your own life. You have to find memories that made you feel good. So, for example, Majeed, if you thought about this week, what is something you did that you're so proud of in yourself this week?
I did an extraordinary Easter egg hunt for my children.
That right there. How does it feel in your body to have done that extraordinary Easter egg hunt for your children?
It feels light, it feels beaming, it feels warm.
Yeah. And that makes you a good enough dad, right? That makes you a great dad. That makes you a good person. That makes you a great man. So when you're laying down at night, if you just remember that feeling in your body and you remember yourself as a great man and as a good dad and as somebody that's worthy of love, as you're falling asleep, that on your heart, that on your body, that makes a pathway in your brain that tells you and reminds you of how great you are. It's that simple.
Well, I think I just pressed down a few corn stalks in my cornfield. How about that? Thank you, Jen. You are living proof, walking your talk, leading the way. And I'm so excited for your book to be published soon. And if you're interested in the Relationship Reboot program, if you're interested in Jen's work, find her attachment style workbook. The website again is speak-honest.com.
Yes. And you can find me on Instagram at speak_honest. It's a great place to find me. You can DM me there. If you are watching this and you're on Instagram anyways, or you're on Facebook, just at speak_honest. All my information is always up on there. I've got the links, everything.
There we go. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you so much, Majeed.